Warning that 7 Americans are under, watch at this facility, at this what they're calling the bio-isolation facility in Nanyuki. Somebody might tell you it's not the same one for which conservatory orders were given. It could be another one. Potato. So you have to then ask yourself, based on things like that, the IG of police and the DCI boss have been summoned to court tomorrow over the habeas corpus case of three individuals that are still unfound. You're asking questions about the things that we saw happening in Olkalau over the weekend, rather over the last week, the things that we saw in Trans Nzoia over the last week. People are telling you, they're telling you something, but let's have you tell him directly. What are folks saying?
Osana Emily says, when a government decides to ignore pleas from its citizens, it builds and creates resentment among the electorate. A tired population is dangerous. Now, Jesse Rodriguez says, how do you not get tired if burning your work at harassment and not get benefits every time people are lying and confused? How can you do anything? Now, we have Mtuflani who says, at least one good thing about this politics is that it's tormenting us, is that the lines are clearly defined. Where you choose to stand will determine your fate. Hakuna msabaha. Now, G. Kenyan says, someone confidentially called Obina, that is another comment there where someone called just saying how they are police officers and they were sent to Olkalau to be goons. Eric Ward says there is no sane grown-up in this country that doesn't know that the president has a problem. Ruto is a man who ought not to be trusted at all. Now, Eric Ward, people are not tired. We are sort of ambivalent. And Dikombo says, dear president, God has rejected you. Double M says, the society is getting very tired of how government is being run. Hapa one term in Nyanza will be equally violent. The Mkabila propaganda has started backfiring very quickly. So this propaganda that anyone will be violent is backfiring because Kenyans are saying we're peaceful. Now, here we go all the way to Smoky Msibande, who says, Mark Bandit says, Uhuru certainly couldn't achieve what that guy's favorite has achieved. So that is on the person who was saying what Uhuru had done or not done for that matter. Anthony Simiyu, Kenyans want leadership, not cheap politics. Victoria Kasioka, and a church telling people to go to church, and Madly African also just responding to some of the callers that we had here before. And a chicken can eat everywhere in the village, but it knows where to lay the eggs. That is according to Ephraim Katem. So that is going to be my proverb for tomorrow. And Eric Owino says, everybody supporting the government and politicians is allowed. What's happening? When Obama first visited Kenya in 1987, he said we can't be far from a revolution when noticed the many and large slums around. So that is according to G. Kenyan, and many are speaking about the same. And Eric Winolio says maybe it's the media that never showed Gen Zs, a construct created by the government to mask citizens. So what a tea. So there is that as well on where the Gen Zs are, where are they coming out to vote. Now, there is also on dear last caller who's also being talked to, Charles Ndungu. Dear Mr. President, all I have to say to you is we will meet next year, August, and kick you out of that office.
Well. Okay. So we're still hearing from you this morning as you call in, and that's just, of course, across our socials today. Dear Mr. President, Kenyans are saying they might just be tired.